Yay, you've made it to part 3 of our Spirit Flow mini series with the incredible JJ Brighton. And this one's called Closing the Loop. In this final episode, JJ shares a channeled message that speaks to the deeper purpose of travel, not just across the globe, but even in your own backyard. She invites us to see travel as an act of energetic completion, a way to recalibrate, to return and realign. So, whether you're feeling called back to a place or just dreaming of somewhere new, this conversation might just shift how you view movement itself as part of your soul's evolution. So, let's drop in. Just talking about, tracking sites and notice like with personal patterns across locations. And maybe you can even share some of
Yes.
like your personal stories around that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That's why I like travel so much because they're
yeah.
like, you have to close the loop. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to the Southern Hemisphere every year. And sometimes like, yeah, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, never thought in a million years. That is so accurate. And it's something to be aware of. It's
Mm,
absolutely something to be aware of that you may find. Now, obviously, we get to create our own reality. I don't feel like it's healthy or helpful to go into grid work and feel like there's some kind of outside external authority that's like, you have
mm,
to go do this grid work and you have to do it this way and that way, that way.
mm,
It's my soul. It's my
mm,
inner wisdom that's like, yes, and you're going to go back and the way will be easy and the path will be easy. And for somebody in my position to travel as much as I have over the last couple of years, to repeatedly go far away from my home, leave my kids, with loving, like with family members, luckily, but just, to go on those big trips because I understood the necessity and the beauty of being able to close loops.
mm,
It's been incredible, but it's very fascinating how the soul will lead you to do that. I mean,
mm,
I can give some examples, but New Zealand is one.
mm.
And I feel like not only are you closing loops, but you're calibrating for the subsequent travel. Now, when I
Ah,
say this, let me mention something that dropped in recently. So you're getting it like fresh off the press, fresh off the channel, like I got this information, and that is, and I'm not the only one who's ever said this, but travel is going to become easier. I can feel when I
mm,
say on to your audience right now, I can feel it in the field that it causes anxiety, it causes some tension in the body. I can feel people resist to it. We're programmed to think it's hard, it's tiring, it's costly, it's all of those things that we've been programmed about what travel is. But what I keep hearing in my, heart of hearts and from my higher self, it's like, just remember, it's going to get easier. Travel will not seem hard. And
mm,
I know that my body has been calibrating in ways that are allowing this repeated travel to just flow, let alone the way that my field has manifested the resources that I've needed
mm,
to travel, because that again is a huge block for people. But that being said, also just remembering we don't have to overcomplicate and visit China twice a year, like clear across for me, that would be so far. But it's like you can go to your local, wherever it is in your town, and you can go there, and that's a great place and way to do grid work. And you can go close that
mm.
loop a little easier than flying on an airplane for 14 hours. But there's so many ways that it looks, and I'd love to just kind of tune in right now, just almost do a little bit of channeling
Yeah,
intuitive
please.
information coming, because what I'm wanting to do is focus on this idea of the closing the loops.
Mhm,
I definitely feel this is not going to be the case forever. I feel that we're in a 5 to 7 year period where the closing of loops and the intense travel is happening, where by that time that's done, we're going to have technologies that will make it feel like we are so present in the place that we won't even actually feel like we need to go there. I don't fully understand that, but that's what I'm receiving.
mhm,
And I'm definitely feeling that this theme of timeline convergence, it's not only time convergence, it's space convergence. So we're collapsing both space and time during this particular phase of our planetary ascension journey. And so we are essentially holding, for all intents and purposes, a field of convergence or a 0 point field. That's like a vortex going in on itself. And this is why during this 5 to 7 year period, I would say like 2 years ago, so it was more like it started 2 years ago, so 2023 through that period. This is an intense convergence, an intense timeline collapsing period. And the only reason that I'm feeling called to share this within the realm of grid work and the topic of grid work is because I'm hearing that people need to remember it's not just happening with the grids of Gaia, it's happening with our physical bodies.
Mm.
And grid work is not all that separate and different than what's happening in our own personal lives, in our own bodies, and even with the greater galaxy. Everything is a reflection of everything else. That's a big concept or theme that I kind of can feel coming into this conversation that we're having. So yeah, I feel like that's dropping in. We can keep flowing with the questions, but I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
wow. I really feel that, especially what you said, about, the land speaking, in cycles, and it's showing us more internally as well. And that's something I've started to notice too, like, how possibly certain places hold different layers depending when you visit, and almost like they're revealing what you're ready for in that moment as well, And I also do find that certain places amplify like certain soul gifts.
yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
even just tuning about that, and collapsing, timelines, and collapsing time and space. And you're right, like I still feel like that there's, places that we can be remotely connecting into and receive and activate certain soul gifts and parts of us that need to remember without actually going to visit them. We just need, someone to be anchored in that space, which is beautiful in terms of like what you do in your work and your community, your Starseed community that you do as well. Thank you so much for tuning into this 3-part Spirit Flow mini series with our beautiful guest, JJ Brighton. And if you loved these shorter episodes, I'd be so grateful if you hit subscribe, because there's more full-length conversations and little minis like this one coming your way soon too. Thank you so very much, and I'll see you soon.